What if you were the passenger on an airplane and the pilot became incapacitated? And what if that pilot were your father and you had minimal flight experience? Could you land the airplane? I think a lot of us have thought through that nightmare scenario. Let's watch what happens to this young lady next.
Manchester, this is November 9132 Victor, and the pilot of the plane is not well. We have to go back to Laconia. Please help me.
So she's panicking.
November
You can hear it in her
9932
voice.
Victor, Boston approach. What's your position right now?
We just left Laconia. We're headed west, and probably I'm over I-93.
Okay, and what was your, do you have a problem right now? Is that what your request is?
Pilot of the plane is not well. He's very, I don't know what. I can't tell you what happened. He just is not responding at all.
Okay, this young lady now is taking over the controls of the plane. That pilot that she's talking about is her father. You're going to find that out here in a minute. He is incapacitated. Nobody knows what's wrong. He just isn't responding and not flying the airplane anymore. So this young lady's going through two things at once. She's in an airplane and the pilot is not operating the airplane anymore. That's a big deal in all in itself. But the other part is it's her father. So she's going through this thing emotionally. You can hear it in her voice. She is going to land this airplane eventually, but it's absolutely incredible what takes place next.
9932 Victor, Roger. Squawk 5171 on the transponder. 5171.
5171. I'll try to take that over. Thank you. Squawking 5171.
November 9932 Victor, this is Boston approach. How are you doing?
Okay, now you hear a different voice. So what's taking place here? Boston Center now is getting involved. And I think they had a little discussion down on the ground about what was going on with this young lady. They summed it up very quickly. The pilot's incapacitated. She's panicky in her voice. They bring in now a controller who's going to talk to her, but he starts to build a rapport. And this is hugely important. He's going to get her to stop thinking about the panicky situation that she's in and just begin to start answering questions. And he is chatty with her. This guy is absolutely brilliant. He's absolutely a hero.
I'm fine. My father, who is the pilot of the plane, is not really responding. He cannot talk very well, and he's not doing well.
Okay, November 9932 Victor, do you have any experience at flying the airplane yourself, ma'am?
I've flown a Warrior. I've never flown a Malibu.
Okay, well, they're very similar, and we're going to do the best we can to help you right now. Can you are you familiar with any of the functions of the airplane, like the transponder and stuff?
The transponder, yes, the code, the frequency code.
Okay, now how does she know that? Well, she's got some experience in another airplane. We don't know how much. Was it 5 hours, 10 hours, 100 hours? It doesn't sound like it was 100 hours. But all airplanes have a squawk code box, and it's a little 4-digit code that you put in. So all she's got to do is find that in this airplane. So she's not completely unfamiliar with flying an airplane, but it's brilliant what this controller is doing. He's starting to talk her through slowly little tasks that she has to do. One of the things I was trained on years ago in the Navy was that if we ever had to ditch at sea, and I've got 12 people on my crew, one of the best survival techniques that you can have is after you get in the raft, don't just sit there in the raft and bob around in the ocean with nothing to do. Give everybody a job. Get their mind off the disaster that they're in the middle of and give them a task to do. So he's going to give her some tasks to do, and you're going to hear her voice change from that panicky, shaky, I don't know what's going to happen next, to a more solid kind of, I'm going to do this thing, I got it attitude. This guy is really brilliant in the way he's handling it.
Okay, November 9932 Victor, yes. Okay, yeah, we've got a good reply on your transponder and stuff. What would be your request? Are you familiar with the Laconia Airport at all?
So he's just kind of chatting it up with her. Hey, we got this thing, and he's, that's not normal for a controller. Controllers are usually 3 to 5 words. It's real brief, boom, boom, boom. This guy's going to build a rapport with this young lady, and wow.
Yes, I just took off from the Laconia Airport, and I'm actually not too far away from it. I'm way too high right now, but I need to get on the plane, on the floor, and I need an ambulance to meet us there.
Okay, and November 3-2 Victor, how many other souls are on board the airplane, and how much, I'm assuming you have plenty of fuel since you were en route somewhere.
We're near to Utica. We have plenty of fuel, and my mother's on board, and she's trying to help my father right now, but he's kind of swatting her away.
Okay, very good. And is he going to inhibit your ability at all to fly the airplane?
He has no ability at all.
Okay, very good. November 3-2 Victor, can you, are you able to turn the airplane to a heading? Were you able to turn the heading, aircraft to a heading of 330? That'd be a left turn.
I can turn the plane to 330. Hang on, I got it.
Okay, very good. Turn the plane to a heading of 330 and advise me when you're on that heading.
Okay, so now he's assessing her level of ability. This air traffic controller is also, as we will find out, he's a certified flight instructor. So he's used to taking students up flying. Now, he's not used to doing it from a console, someplace looking at a radar screen. He's used to sitting right next to him, but he's got that rapport. He's got that easy demeanor. He's got the, hey, let me just ask you some dialogue questions. How do you feel about this? Can you do that? And he's assessing her skill level. So he doesn't even know if she can turn an airplane or not, and but she can. So she says, yeah, I can go to this heading. All right. So does she have 5 or 10 hours? Probably. Can you work with that? Absolutely. This guy now is going to give her vectors. He's going to turn her around. He's going to get her headed back to Laconia Airport. He's going to get her in a position where she can now begin to descend the airplane. And as he gets her turned around and headed back towards Laconia, she's actually going to have to fly past the airport, do another turnaround to get into the wind and land on runway 26. But something shocking happens next. And so let's fast forward to that next bit in this scenario.
I need to get down to it. My mother is, something's really weird. I mean, she's flopping over like a doll now. I got 2 of them that are just both of them are flopping over.
Okay, so something's going on in this airplane. It's beyond unusual. It's beyond strange even. It's one thing for maybe an older gentleman like her father to maybe he's having a stroke or a heart attack or something. Hard to say. But the mother too. Now, was it the mother's having a panic attack because the father's having? Could be that. Could be something's going on inside the air in the airplane. And the guys down on the ground are going to put their heads together and kind of diagnose this. But this young lady has got a lot on her plate now. Her father is incapacitated. Her mother, who is attending to him, is now becoming incapacitated as well. Will she be next?
And November 3-2 Victor, what was that last part you said?
My mother is also not responding to me.
Okay, very good. November 3-2 Victor, turn left to a heading of 060.
060.
Okay, he's going to bring her back to the airport now.
And November 3-2 Victor, can you open some kind of window in the airplane? I don't know if you're suffering from some type of carbon monoxide poisoning in the aircraft.
Okay, so clearly he's either thinking that or the other guys that are assisting him on the ground are going, hey, this sounds like carbon monoxide poisoning. Now, hold on a second. Why wouldn't all 3 of them be suffering from the same symptoms? Well, she's a lot younger and presumably more fit than 2 older people. And so I'm going to succumb at my age to carbon monoxide poisoning much faster than a 25-year-old, let's say, that's a long distance runner. I don't know her physical fitness, but I can tell you she's a lot younger because she's the daughter. And so she's not feeling the effects just yet, but she might here in a minute. Let's see how this plays out.
Hang on a moment.
Yeah, open some kind of vent. Open the side vent or something.
Both side vents are open.
Okay, the side vents are open. Okay, thank you. And November 3-2 Victor, you able to send the airplane down to 4,000 feet?
Descending to 4,000.
Now, there's all this kind of pause in between. Why is that? Well, she's probably trying to attend to her mom. And now she's got 2 people that are convalescing in the airplane. She's got both of the side vent windows open. Fortunately, she didn't try to open a door. All right, that would have been another catastrophe. But she's smart enough now, and she's got enough experience in an airplane to know, there's little vents here and there. I just got to find where they are and get a little air flowing through there. And so if there is carbon monoxide coming into the cabin from the engine, it's going to dissipate that rather quickly.
Okay, November 3-2 Victor. So you should be over the lake at this point. Is that correct?
Correct. I'm almost to the furrow.
Okay, very good. So you're very familiar with the area. So, you know, if you continue northbound from here, maybe you're heading at 360, you're going to see Wolfboro, and then the Laconia Airport will be off your left side by about, I'm going to say you're 9 o'clock and about 7 to 8 miles.
Correct. I have the Laconia Airport in sight.
Okay, November 3-2 Victor, Roger. With the gear extended, why don't you start your descent down now to, say 2,500 feet.
Descending to 2,500 feet.
Can you hear the difference in her voice, the tone? Right? She's all business right now, which is great.
3-2 Victor, one of the most important things is you remember when the airplane does get on the ground and and I'm assuming that you're familiar with this since you've flown a Cherokee before, is to use the brakes as soon as the airplane lands.
Okay, use the brakes as soon as I land.
Yes, don't let the airplane start freewheeling down the runway. You don't want to lose control of it.
Good
Once
advice.
the airplane touches down on the runway, and based on your experience from flying a Cherokee before, just keep it aligned with the center line when it does land. But do ensure that you step on the brakes and slow the airplane down to a complete stop, and then pull the mixture out as soon as the airplane gets on the ground and stop the engine, because you don't want to have the engine running or have it impede anybody's ability to access the airplane and provide assistance to your parents.
Okay, here's what this guy is doing for this young pilot. He's being proactive and he's thinking about the danger that lay ahead. He's also planting a seed in her mind that this thing is going to have a successful outcome. This is hugely important in the psychology of what's going on, because she doesn't have a lot of skills, enough though to fly the airplane. She could get the airplane on the ground safely. The biggest thing is right up here, the psychology of the whole thing, that panic attack. He wants to keep her away from having that moment where she thinks, I can't do this. No. We're already talking through the landing. He's got her psychologically. You're already on the ground. Now let's think about not going off the edge of the runway. Let's get right on those brakes and stay right on that center line. And so she is now thinking through all this. It's more than the power of positive thinking. She is running through this entire scenario in her mind, and it has a successful outcome. This guy is absolutely brilliant at how he's walking her through this.
Okay, I understand.
Yep.
Okay, very good. So November 3-2 Victor, you have the airport in sight, and you're in a gradual descent. At this point, would you like to add maybe 10 degrees of flaps? Okay, if you're not familiar with the flaps, then don't be too concerned with that. But say your airspeed.
Okay, the flaps would be nice, but they're not necessary. She can make a no-flap landing. He's going to tell her to keep her speed up here in a minute so that it counteracts the lack of flaps. But he doesn't want her to get lost on something where she's heads down and looking for, and you know what? Once you get there, that's a bad place to be. He wants to keep her outside and thinking, we're just going to come back and land this. No big deal. Everything's easy. I'm sure he was thinking, I wish she knew where the flaps was. But he's not going to let her know that.
Airspeed 130.
Okay, why don't you start pulling the throttle back a little bit, maybe a couple of hundred. Well, do you go by manifold pressure on that?
Your guess is as good as mine.
Okay, reduce the manifold pressure to about 20 inches and start slowing the airplane down.
Okay, we're at a whole pressure. Where is that?
Well, actually, why don't you just pull the throttle back, the black knob. Pull the black knob back out so the engine starts to slow down a little bit. Just listen to it by sound.
Okay, this is brilliant, right? She can't find the instrument, and it's not going to make any difference anyway because she's not going to know what she's looking at. The easiest and best instrument in an airplane are your ears. You hear something before anything else. So, like in your car, when you let off the gas, what do you hear? Right? When you step on it, the frequency goes up and goes down based on the action of a particular engine. This engine's no different. When she pulls back on the power, she's going to hear it kind of throttle back. And he says, pull it back a little bit until you hear the engine noise change, and then take a look at your airspeed. So he's going to work with her ears and her eyes on that airspeed gauge, and that's all she needs to land this airplane.
Airspeed down to 120.
Okay, very good. Just pull the throttle back a little bit more and start slowing the airplane.
Okay.
Now, when the airplane does land, you're probably going to be going very fast. So, like I said, just apply the brakes as soon as you can get the airplane. As soon as the airplane touches down on the runway, you're about 2 miles from the airport. Are you able to reduce the throttle a little bit more and just slow the airplane up?
All right, I'm almost at minimal throttle here.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, just if the airplane starts to, you want to keep a good look on the airspeed indicator. You don't want it to slow down too much because you don't want to stall the airplane. But you do want to try to slow it down the best you can, so when it gets on the ground, you're not going way too fast.
You know what the landing speed is for this plane?
I have no idea what the landing speed is, but I wouldn't slow any slower than 100 knots.
That's a wonderful, nice round figure. 100 knots is good. This airplane might settle in nicely at 80 knots. He doesn't want her to get close to that because 80 is close to 70, it's close to 60, and she could stall the airplane. 100 knots is a little bit above buffer. He's already told her she's going to land fast. This guy is talking to her like he's sitting right next to her, like he's a good instructor, right? Hey, take that black knob and pull it back, right? Now, did you hear that? All right, now, that's what you want to hear. What's your airspeed doing right now? He's walking her through this like he's sitting right next to her. I can't say enough good things.
No slower than 100 knots.
And just so you know, everyone there is awaiting your arrival.
Thank you.
And 3-2 Victor, how far are you from the runway right now?
It's in sight. Maybe half a mile.
Okay. So that little line he gave her about, hey, just to let you know, everybody's there awaiting your arrival. All right. That's a wonderful, soothing, reassuring, this is going to have a perfect outcome reply to her. It sits in her mind that this thing is going to have a great finish to it. You're just going to arrive, right? He's probably got his fingers crossed that it works out that way, but he's instilling in her that mindset, and it's brilliant.
Okay, very good. So you're lined up with the runway. You've got your hand on the throttle.
Right.
Just pull the power back a little bit more if you need to slow the airplane up. Just line it up with the center line of the runway. How is your altitude looking?
I'm at 170 and descending.
170 feet, great. Getting close now, getting really close.
November 3-2 Victor, how far from the field now?
Couple 100 yards.
Okay, just advise me when you're on the ground.
Okay, this is the moment of truth. Is she going to make it?
On the ground.
November 3-2 Victor, and apply the brakes. Have you come to a complete stop?
Yes, I'm at a stop. Thank you very much. Here's the fire department.
Hey!
Very much.
3-2 Victor, Roger, very nice work. Make sure that you stop the engine, pull the mixture out, the red knob all the way out.
Engine has been cut. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Have a nice afternoon.
You too. Thank you very much.
Okay. Stuff like this happens in aviation, and this one had a really great outcome. But this young lady, she went from that shaky voice in the beginning where she was scared to death, right? And not only was she watching her dad have a stroke maybe or something, then her mom follows suit. Now things are getting even worse, but this controller gives her that mindset that she can do it and she's got this thing. And he doesn't say to her, you got this, you got this. He's not being a cheerleader. He's just walking her through. This is going to be successful. That's going to be successful. You're going to touch down. The fire department's going to meet you on the ground. When you get down on the ground, get on those brakes, keep that thing on the center line. You got this, girl, you go. And she does. And you can hear her voice change, her demeanor changes, her confidence level is built up. She's obviously landed an airplane before, probably not by herself, probably had an instructor right next to her, but she can do this thing because a lot is at stake. And this controller and this young lady together both deserve tremendous kudos for doing it and doing it the right way under a really awful circumstance that they went through. But she ends up on the runway safe. It turns out it was carbon monoxide poisoning for both her father and her mother, but both of them, you can hear the emotion in their voice. I'm even getting emotional describing it at the end where she touches down and it's a successful outcome. This one turned out great. Well, now you know. I'm Captain Steeve. Fly safe.